Broads.
Oh, hello there, my broads. My quarantine
What's
broads.
new?
How
What's
are you
new?
all? What?
I said, what's new?
Oh, sorry, you cut out for a second. Oh, no.
This is off to a great start.
Off to a great start from a distance. Oh, Lord. Broads, here we are. We're separated. What day is it? I don't know. It's April 1st. That's the day we're recording. You guys are mostly listening to it probably around April 2nd. We have gotten the news that we will at least be quarantined for another month. So, Bekah, we will continue to be seeing each other via Skype.
You know what's depressing is that I have so many like projects that I need to do, like before baby comes and like backyard projects. We've done none of them. None. Like not one.
You know what's kind of a weird deal is that since this all started, and I don't know if it's the kid piece or maybe other people who don't have children will say the exact same thing, but there's something about this that is causing me to do nothing. It's like I'm chasing Ember around all day and that's a lot. And like Evan and I are shifting off when it's like we have to work and do certain things. But in general, like I've seen people posting being like, oh yeah, I've been super engaged with with social media lately, doing lives and whatever. I'm like, I've never been on my Instagram less in my life than these.
My screen time has been going down each week.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
Also, I don't know. But yeah, actually, weirdly, I've been on my phone less as well.
It's super weird. And it's like not like a flex, like, oh my God, I'm quarantined. And honestly, like, I've never been on my phone less.
Yoga all day, meditating, just connecting with myself.
It's almost like when your to-do list is kind of like, well, I guess I can do it tomorrow. There's almost this, and I guess because I know that everyone is in their house doing the same thing, the FOMO
You're not missing
goes
out.
down. Yeah, the FOMO goes down, so I'm just not checking it constantly.
Like I'm not missing out on anything. But that's true, actually. You can't use your phone. I mean, you can, but you're not using your phone to procrastinate on anything because there's nothing to procrastinate on because you have all the time in the world, sort of, except for like work-related things.
Right. It's so bizarre.
Like, but otherwise, you don't have anywhere to be.
I've never watched less television, and I've never been on my phone less. Now, granted, I used to watch a lot of television, so that's not saying much. Because, you know,
I was going to say, I think ours is at the same, probably like 3 hours every night, as it was before.
I think what a lot of it was is when I work, I like to have the TV on when I'm working. So a lot of times I would have like other podcasts on YouTube while I'm working. But now because the kids running around, I don't have them on. So I think maybe that's what it is. But it's just kind of this, it's a very weird. I'm so interested if other people feel that way too.
I know. And also, actually, I shouldn't say I just haven't been doing any of the projects that I would think would be the first things that we should work on. But I've actually been like cooking a lot and doing a lot of little things around the house. But also Grayston's like trying to apply to all these different like loans and all that kind of stuff. So I'm also sort of doing my normal routine. It's not really like Gray can just work on projects with me all day. And Evan's working on
he's been doing music
work stuff too. So
home.
It's like it's not like both of us have nothing to do.
We're all just trying to like scrape together possible ideas of ways to like make income. Evan's like, I guess I could do this, and we're just trying to figure out.
When's your OnlyFans coming out?
I did talk to Evan about that last night. He didn't say yes.
Broads, can you tell us how much you would pay for Jess and Evan's OnlyFans for a monthly subscription? What do we think is fair? $15, $30, $45?
Let me know. Evan was
I'd say a solid $28 is super fair a month.
Evan was very
That's
much
like $1 a day.
He's like, would our faces have to be in it? And I said, yes, absolutely, our faces would have to be in it. And that's really what threw him off big time. So I don't.
They actually wouldn't have to be. Just your face could be in it.
That's true. We'll see.
And
We're
also,
working on it.
You know, if you get verified too, people could just know it's you and it not have your face in it.
Oh, that's nice. But I want my face to be in it because I want the camera to catch me smiling into it every once in a while. I'm just very aware that it's being filmed the whole time. Evan's just like,
adjusting.
Get into it with me. Come on. Just like fully just smiling for the camera the entire time. Like I'm doing a TikTok, just big smile the whole time.
Your head's just turned towards the camera as he's over there.
We must cross OnlyFans and TikTok. That's what.
How does that work? Like 15-second clips on OnlyFans?
Sure. Or also like in the middle of doing TikTok dances, also oral or things of that nature. You know?
Creative.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyways, Love is Blind. Love is Blind. I mean, this episode, I got the text from Bekah and Becca's like, all right, I'm back in.
It's better. It's better. It's definitely better. Is it a Bachelor? No, which we're going to talk about in a second. But it's better. It's definitely better. It definitely had me wanting to watch the next episode. Definitely had me hooked a little more.
Honestly, not watching the next episode of Love is Blind has become like a meditative practice for me. It is so difficult to not start watching the next episode.
Disconnect.
Self-control is just like, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm really feeling myself, and I'm able to not.
Well, they literally will take, I mean, I've noticed it since the episodes are like 45 minutes. They'll take one full episode and then they just chop it in half so that you're literally in the middle of shit.
Oh yeah. No, like, it's they make it real tough to resist. Impossible even. But we're doing it. We're doing it. Minus the one time I made a mess up like 2 weeks ago. But other than that, I've been strict not to.
I almost started on episode 5, but then I was also like, no, but then I have to commit to taking notes for the next hour and it's late. So that actually stopped me. I was about to forge ahead.
Yeah, well,
but I didn't.
When I did the one episode like 2 weeks ago, I rewatched it to take notes. That's how like sucked in I was. I was just like, it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, I just have to watch. I just have to figure out the rest of this, and then took notes the next day. But don't do that, because don't be like me. I feel like we're at that point now too in Love is Blind where if you watch the next episode, it would really inform your opinions about recapping the episode beforehand.
That's true.
You know,
how many more episodes do we have? Is there 8 total? I think there remember.
Are 10.
Oy, let's start doing 2-in-1s. I feel like no one will mind.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to have to, especially with Bachelor Listen to Your Heart starting here.
Woo!
In a couple weeks.
Also,
I know.
Also, I think we should do a Tiger King special if we have time. Because, it's all I can talk about.
On the last episode, on Tuesday's episode, I did a little intro at the beginning of the episode letting everyone know that episode had been filmed or recorded, like a few weeks ago. And I said, we're going to do a Tiger King recap. We will do it. And we'll just do one long episode where we hit all the highlights and discuss our opinions of what we think about each of the characters. Because
I was on the phone with my dad and my dad was like, can we not talk about coronavirus or Tiger King, please? And I was like, one of those is going to be real easy for me. The other one,
I'll be able to resist quite a bit in one arena, but the other, not so much.
I'm like actually kind of, when you like finish a movie series or a book series and you have this sense of grief that it's over. I felt that at the end of Tiger King. I was like, I need more.
Oh, I mourned for sure. I mourned.
I need more. I need more Joe.
It was hard to let go of that. That's for sure. But I feel like there's going to be a follow-up. There has to be.
He at least has to have his own show or something. So should we talk about Bachelor stuff real quick?
Let's talk about some Bachelor stuff. Yes. Okay. Well, so first and foremost, Mr. Pilot Peter was spotted in Chicago with, surprise, surprise, Kelly.
First of all, I love, and you actually made this comment, I love how all these Bachelor people just think they're exempt from traveling.
It's just like everyone's traveling all over the place. And when those photos of Peter and Kelly, it looks like there are people around. They're like jumping on top of each other in a public place. I'm just like, what is happening to quarantine?
Also, I guess the paparazzi are just free to go outside.
Yeah, no, seriously. Is that one of the essential jobs? Come on, guys.
Also, like, okay, I did bring up Jess, though. I was like, well, and I'm sure everyone will DM us this. Like, well, Pete is a pilot, so he could have like literally chartered his own plane and been the only person on it and flew to Chicago, whatever. But he's still mingling households.
Yeah, we're floating around here. And also now what I'm confused about is he's posting, and I don't know with his recent Insta stories, is he posting from his home or is he posting from Kelly's home? I can't quite tell. Now, in his most recent Insta stories that I was watching, there were a few things that disturbed me. Not disturbed me. Well, one of them disturbed me. Number one, Peter is a magician.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching magic tricks with Peter. Okay.
And
yeah, where is he, though? Like, where is this
I don't
place?
know. At the end of
But what's that weird backdrop?
The backdrop's strange. And then in one of the Insta stories, you see, I think it's a man's hand that takes one of the cards from him, but you don't see who the guy is.
I mean, it looks like his parents, the color of his parents' walls.
But don't you think that if there was a hand coming in, that they would have showed that it was like Jack's hand or something? I don't understand.
Maybe, but that also looks like...
He's also doing TikToks in his pilot uniform and...
Oh my gosh, his TikTok is just him like...
Going from being dressed in civilian clothing to him in his pilot's uniform.
I'm watching it right now.
Some of this self-isolation is taking a dark turn for some of us.
Countertop is... That granite countertop is definitely from his parents' house. I think he's back home. I don't think he was Instagram storying at all while he was with Kelly.
Okay. Well, now he's back home. That's and he theory. Is a magician and he's doing a few tricks. One of them, he dropped the cork in the original trick. It's very hard to watch. I don't know why he didn't record it. Oh, Peter.
Okay, let's talk though about the fact that he is with Kelly.
So Barb got what she wanted in the end. Barb prevails.
But it just really makes me curious about this whole situation with Maddie because, like, was that just a thing they mutually agreed on to do for show? Because remember Chris Harrison said the thing about Kelly in the audience. There's rumors that they hooked up after he broke up with Hannah Ann. Seems like that was actually the case. And then now he's, like, flying to visit her. Like...
It doesn't
make... So what was that shit?
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like there must have been something that they were going to... It makes my theory brain go all over the place. Part of me is like, did they not know if Maddie was going to go up on stage at the end and shut him down? Yeah. And if she did shut him down, did they want option number 2 because they really wanted this to end with a love story?
Oh.
So then were they going to be like, hey, well, actually, Kelly's in the audience? It just makes me think that ABC wanted this to end because it seemed, again, the whole situation with Maddie and Peter in the end seemed so forced by ABC trying to shove them back together.
Yeah.
Because it's just been season after season with like weird off endings.
Yeah.
So it feels like ABC really, really wanted at least an ending that had a little... maybe a question mark on the end of this may work, you know? So maybe that's why they had Kelly in there. They knew that they'd maybe been hooking up and they wanted a potential, I don't know, but it doesn't make any sense. There's too many loose ends. We need answers.
It is crazy to me though that she's the one that he's now with. I also thought that she just wasn't into him after the whole season.
I know. I wonder
I thought she was over him and over it.
Yeah, I wonder if she's just one of those people that doesn't like being on camera and just doesn't feel comfortable.
I just got the vibe that she was like, you know, I mean, they had that whole conversation about like, why am I here? Like with these other girls. And then I would think after seeing the whole season play out, I don't know. I don't fault her for it.
No.
Actually, I do fault her for it a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm just more weird. Yeah, I'm weirded out, like you said, after seeing the entire season of how everything went down and how all over the place he was, that you'd be like,
well, and like with Hannah Ann breaking off the engagement and all that stuff, like
it doesn't make any sense. This is what makes me feel like, because she's a smart girl. I feel like there are so many pieces that we're missing. And then with Jack making those ominous comments about there's so much you didn't see.
I know.
And even just the whole concept that this was the first season that didn't have any spoil. Something feels weird about this.
Well, again, remember how his whole family was following Kelly?
Yeah.
Throughout the season, and she was the only one they were following? It's like that was the thing, like, I just don't get it.
What if they were dating the entire time and like the whole Maddie and Peter thing was literally fake for the screen, and that's why Barb was so furious because she knew that that Peter and Kelly were actually dating, and it would like.
But what about Hannah Ann?
No, I'm saying if Peter and Kelly started dating after him and Hannah Ann broke up, like officially.
Right.
And then they had at least been hooking up. Maybe she met his family a couple times. And then all of a sudden, Chris Harrison, without Peter knowing, shows up at Maddie's place and is like, do you still love? Yeah.
I see.
And then they really tried to push that. I don't know.
Was this a dream or did I read this somewhere? Something about someone in Bachelor Nation or something talking about how they thought Madison wasn't there for the right reasons.
Rachel Lindsay was going in pretty hard about
really?
it. Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know.
What caused her to say that? Have you listened to it?
I haven't listened to it, but I saw headlines about her going, then I think it was on maybe Extra TV or something where she was going in pretty hard. Apparently, again, I didn't listen, so I don't want to, say things that I didn't actually listen to myself. But I think it was like the whole agent piece, and there were other things that she said made her think that she wasn't maybe there for the right reasons, or at least it ended up that way or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Well, okay, what else is going on in Bachelor Nation? Also, I posted a photo of me in a tinfoil hat, and then I got these messages saying like, Tana tinfoil hat club, and I was like, wait, no, what did I just associate myself with? And I guess it's some Reddit thing.
Some Reddit thing?
I guess it's some Reddit thing about Tyler and Hannah and like their TikToks, and people are like, oh, the tinfoil hat gang or something because they're making conspiracies about Tyler and Hannah being together or something. I don't know.
I didn't mean
to associate myself with that.
See, this
are they still quarantined together?
I think so. I'm telling you, I haven't been as involved on the phone. I'm feeling a little behind.
Know, and I also, let's see.
And I also haven't been keeping up as much because I've been trying to not constantly tempt myself by going on Instagram and looking up all the Love is Blind contestants to see if they're quarantined together. I'm dying to know, okay? And it's taking everything in me to not look at them. So I've just kind of been avoiding, browsing on social media as much as possible right now. Just pretty much following the friends, and that's it.
Who are all these people that are together? I'm watching Tyler's stories and he's like, I'm so confused.
Lord knows.
Because there's just all these young, sexy people together.
So many hotties. So many hotties shacked up. You ready to get into this business?
Yeah.
Ready to get into this?
Before we do.
Ready to get into this distraction?
Yes. Before we do, can we talk about the brand that is my favorite pair of earrings and my favorite ring right now for all of you on YouTube?
The best jewelry brand, in my opinion. Oh my gosh. Okay. So here's the thing, Broads. There's a good chance that lately you've spent your days in sweats or something similar, myself included. It's hard to feel motivated to get all dressed up with nowhere to go, but hear me out. You don't need to save that cute outfit and find jewelry for an event or occasion or outing. Every day is a reason to get ready. It's fun. It helps you get into a fun mindset. But my favorite jewelry brand, Majori, our favorite jewelry brand, has you covered. They make fine jewelry for every day. And if you really don't feel like getting ready, honestly, their pieces, I can be rolling around in sweats in my pajamas and I still feel fine as hell in those pieces. They make every outfit look better. I swear.
I love their pieces so much. I wear mine all the time. I've got 2 of their rings and a pair of their earrings, and their pieces are made with quality materials like 14K 14K Sarah gold, 14 karat solid gold, sterling silver, real pearls, and diamonds. So if you forget to take them off while doing the dishes or exercising, it is all good. There's no chance of the rings turning our fingers green or the pieces getting worn out or scratching easily, which is amazing because the last thing I need is another task on my to-do list.
Oh, honestly, let's talk about our to-do list earlier. The things we're avoiding.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Majori drops new pieces every Monday, which is crazy, but they all go together so seamlessly. If you need help figuring out, or in my case, narrowing down which pieces to get, Majori's online stylists are always available to help in a digital one-on-one appointment. Oh, they have the best jewelry for stacking, hands down. Like, I'll go toe-to-toe with anyone to argue this. They have the best stacking jewelry. Come at me. Also, I recently got a ring from them that has my little Libra constellation on it, and I'm obsessed. I cannot wait to go out eventually and get complimented on it. Eventually, I will be out, and I will receive compliments. I know. And right now, until April 20th, Majori is offering free shipping on all orders to the U.S. and Canada, plus a 2-year warranty on every piece.
And of course, we have a special gift for our listeners. Head to majuri.com/chatty or use code chatty at checkout for 10% off your first order. That's spelled MEJURI.com/chatty for 10% off your first order.
All right. So, Love is Blind. Well, we come upon our couples, and thank you, Netflix, because I needed to see the morning after, and I'm so glad they didn't skimp out on that.
There we go. Nobody got edited out. I know.
Thank goodness. Well, we start by seeing Kelly and Kenny, and I'm relieved in this moment because, like we talked about last week, I was a little unsure. I was like, okay, they seem like they've got the good chemistry, but then he made those comments that was making me a little nervous, but it definitely seems like they had a good night.
Yes, it does. Even though they both looked like they were in Jessica's nightwear attire. Both of them were in crew neck t-shirts.
They were very comfortable, but they were comfortable together. Right?
Yes, they were. And Kelly said the physical connection is there. Kenny is really hot, as I'm finding out, even though we've been talking about it. There's like certain angles in these interviews where I'm like, wait, what? You're a 10. I'm confused. I did not see that before or something. I don't know.
So attracted to Kenny. And even though there were a few moments in this episode that were questionable, which we'll get into.
There were.
With sweet Kenny. But my goodness, physically, I am just, yes, he is gorgeous. I don't know why I didn't see it. I mean, we always thought he was cute, but God, there are certain angles. My goodness. And also we find out. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say what's weird is both of them say that the physical connection is more advanced than the emotional connection. Both of them made a comment like that.
I know, which is kind of
interesting.
And it's also kind of an odd thing to say. Like it's more.
And I agree that
I couldn't quite place it. I was like, oh, so now. Are you guys just trying to say, it almost sounded like they had that conversation and they were just repeating each other. Like maybe
that's why I know
they both said like, it's so crazy. We're so emotionally drawn to each other, but our physical is even more intense. Like maybe that's what it was, but it was kind of an odd.
Wasn't it like an odd thing? I thought it was an odd thing to say too.
I wrote down the same thing.
I'm not going to read. Yeah, I'm not going to read too much into it, but also that's like, okay.
It was odd.
I don't know,
also, we do find out when they're talking that Kenny scratched her back until she fell asleep because she had a tough time falling asleep. And so I'm like, oh, cool. I'll marry you. You're a back scratcher. Propose to me now. Okay.
Well, also, they talked about their physical connection being so strong, but then also they still haven't had sex.
No, which, I feel like it's like your physical. You can be all sorts of hot and bothered and be having a wild makeout session, and the privates are a tingling, but just not quite gonna have sex. Well, Kelly's explaining it to us.
I was just surprised. I was just surprised that they actually didn't. I sort of thought that it was gonna happen anyway.
I know. I was dying how every time Kelly explains anything, she is lounged on the bed on her tummy with her legs in the air with producers filming her. It's my most favorite thing about Kelly is she's always in this like mermaid position, like having a fun sleepover chat, talking about how her and Kenny made out all night.
Love it.
First base.
Well, that's pretty much all that we see of them then. And then we go, of course, to Barnett and Amber.
Oh, Barnett and Amber. Well,
first of all, it was funny because there was a camera shot of them like through the empty glasses of the food cart. Did you catch that?
I was dead. Some of these camera angles are literally everything. I can't handle it again with these camera angles. Well, they definitely had sex.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, dude, I don't know who I can't handle more. I mean, so far Jessica is irritating, but I can really like tolerate her for some reason. I don't know who I can't stand more, Giannina or Amber. And one of Amber's quotes immediately, she's like, we probably spent more time in the shower than the bathtub. And I verbally out loud said ew, even though I was watching it by myself. I was like, ew. And then she's like, in the prenup, we have to do it every day, maybe twice. And I was just like, ugh.
I wrote down, I'm like, Amber is the type of person who, even if their sex, like, even if they start to have sex less, she's the friend that you have who's constantly bragging about how much sex they have, even if they're not anymore, where you're like, you're making me feel bad about myself now at this point.
I feel like I have to prove myself to you and like talk about how much sex I have because this is, yeah.
I feel like you're going to judge me and be like, oh, you guys just cuddled then, right? She threw at Jess later in the episode. I wrote down that I feel like they had a lot of sex. Also, aside from having a lot of sex, I have this feeling that they also probably pranked someone on the hotel staff that first night together. Like, in the middle of sessions, they're in between sessions and they're like, let's call down to the concierge and ask if they can come pick up a package that we need to have delivered. And like this poor like bellman goes up and they open the door and Barnett like flashes him and he's like, this package, and Amber's dying laughing. Like and then they have more sex together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sex. There's a lot of pranking.
Could totally
There's
see
a lot
that.
of Dutch ovening happening, I'm sure. A lot of gas.
Oh my God. I just can't with them.
But they're meant for each other, Bekah. Like, I think they found each other.
Do you think they're going to make it to the end though?
I think
because I don't.
I think last episode we talked about how there's going to be a lot of fighting. I think that they will make it to the end, and I think that they are going to be fighting and or break up numerous times before we get there. But I do think I think they found each other, and when you see them later on with during their date, I'm just like, damn, these people are meant to be together, and they're going to make each other crazy for forever. But I feel like they found their person. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Because especially that next morning, man, Barnett seemed calm this episode.
Okay, actually, maybe he says it later. Well, at some point he says that he's nervous about the getting married thing, but because he's worried that she may not want to marry him at the end. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, the tables have turned, and it feels that way. It feels like all of a sudden, since he's picked Amber, his like obnoxious levels have toned down, and he seems a lot more calm and less, like, at least to me, obnoxious in these episodes and centered. And I'm wondering, like, did he find his person who's making him his best self?
He is into her, man. He's into her. Sure.
And one of my most favorite quotes of the entire episode was like, when Barnett said, a few weeks ago, I didn't even know who this Amber person was. Now I feel like we've known each other for at least a couple of years.
I know. Not my whole life.
One thing I gotta give Barnett, man, he says it. You know what I mean? Like, every single other guy on this would say I've known her my whole life, and Barnett will be like, I feel like I've known her maybe a good 1.5 to 2 years ish. You know,
a solid 15 months or so. Probably.
Like he's just gonna say it. It's funny. Like, no, I don't feel like I've known her my lifetime. The only people that I feel like I've known my lifetime are my mom's, my dad's, my buddy Joe, and my cousin Andy. Like those are the 4 people I've known my whole lifetime, but that's about it. But Amber, a solid 2 years.
I definitely don't know her. Yeah, no. I definitely don't know Amber like I know them.
No, but I do not know Amber like I know Joe. Joe's my guy. No one's ever gonna replace Joe.
Okay, but we have to get to Damien and Giannina because I'm just like chomping at the bit to get to them. Okay. First of all, why do they have the dopest suite? Did you notice how like their suite was like
luxurious
with this like big circle window? And I'm like, are they on the same resort?
So luxurious
as other people?
I don't know. There was a few scenes where like when they showed actually Damien Carlton and Diamond together, the pools look different. And I was like, wait, they seem like they're in a fancier pool area than some of the other people. But they said they're all on the same site. But that also seems...
Maybe it's just huge.
Yeah, it does look gigantic. I don't know. But they definitely got the dopest suite.
There's probably like multiple pools or some shit. I don't know. But I can't stand her. And this is why. It's because... Like I said before, it's just so obvious to me that she's not into him and that she's like trying to convince both him and herself that she is. And it's something about that just drives me nuts.
Okay,
so she like
really? So you didn't
She wakes up and she just like...
Okay.
She wakes up and she like props her hand on her chin. She's like, I like waking up to you. And
Okay, so...
Okay, so what were you going to say?
No, So when I was watching it, I felt confused. I didn't get that obvious like, oh, she's faking it from him. Like
I wouldn't say it's obvious, but I don't think that it's like obvious or that's clearly what's happening, but I will say that's what I think is happening.
Okay. See, I felt like they had really good sex.
I don't think so.
And it made me so uncomfortable.
I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so because oh my God. First of all, the way they...
I know. I
get the heebie-jeebies just like trying to repeat it. The fact that they both used the phrase made love.
Will you say the line that she said?
I'd rather watch my like great-grandparents have sex than like have to hear someone use that term repeatedly.
It was... Now, see, if I would have heard Lauren and Cameron say that, I would have thought it was sweet. But Giannina and Damien make me feel very uncomfortable. And I hope that they're happy and I hope that everything works out for them and they've flourished and made babies together and truly love each other. But they make me feel uncomfortable. Just everything about the dynamic makes me uncomfortable.
So she said, okay, this is why. So she said, I tore his clothes off. And he made love to me.
Dude.
Oh, this guy gets so hard. But then she proceeds to say, like, in the sweetest possible way, like, he was so gentle. And I'm like, this bitch does not want to get made love to in the sweetest possible, most consensual way. This bitch wants to get fucked. I shouldn't say consensual, but they kept using words like that of like, he made sure that I was just so okay with everything. And I just got this sense that like, she was like, yeah, it was so sweet. But in her mind, she's like, I way would have rather had this dude who was just going to take me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, but
and then the way he described it. What?
No, but then when he was, oh yeah, so okay, say how he described it.
He said it was beautiful and indescribable, and we ended up making love. I don't know what else did he say that was cringe, super cringy.
It was when he
but
pinned her down and said, "You are strong, but I am stronger." I've never felt more uncomfortable ever. Like it was
so.
It was just like I felt
like I was watching two bad actors.
I felt like I was watching a bad porno for sure. Like it was like the intro to a bad pornography. Like pornography
in the romance category.
Yes, and one that is like too, like, you know, the cameras are too clear, it's too sharp, and you're like, this feels real, but the acting's really bad, so I know that it's not, but I don't know how I feel. Watching it, it was one of those moments for me. It was the hide behind the couch moment. I had a really hard time having to keep pausing and writing it down because I was like, I can't.
No, I hated it. I hated every minute of it. I wanted to be over so quickly. What I did not want to be over quickly was Lauren and Cameron. I love that they had the conversation about her wearing her bonnet, and I thought it was really cool, and it's just not something you see on TV that much, actually, in general.
I know. I thought that was, it was such a cool moment.
Yeah, and that was great. And they were both just being super cool. I loved when it was cutting back and forth between them talking about sex. And that's why I felt like Giannina and Damien are not Damien, because Damien probably really did think it was beautiful and indescribable, but I feel like Giannina was like trying to be like, yeah, it was just so beautiful. And they're just talking about beautiful. Versus then you see Cameron and Lauren where they're both like, you know, we're not going to talk about it. They're both being all coy. He's like, that's private between us.
I'm a gentleman. Like, and I'm not going to talk about whether or not we had sex. And she's doing everything she can not to spill. Like, she is just brimming with excitement. And you can tell that they had a really good night together, which made me so happy because it's like they've had such a beautiful journey so far. So the fact that they had a great first night together. Can you imagine?
Well, and someone made the comment, a lot of deep diving, and they both giggled, and I was like, oh my God.
This is getting, Love is Blind is graphic, guys. There are some graphic moments, okay? It's a lot. There were definitely, there's later a scene with Kenny and Kelly that got real sexy, and I was getting real sweaty watching it. Love is Blind is taking it there. It's taking it there. But
it's crazy.
No, it just made me so happy because I just couldn't imagine being in that situation. Like how, like Lauren and Cameron feel so real to me. To find that person in this situation, have this insane chemistry and connection with a wall between you, and then finally be it together in real life, actually have genuine moments where they're saying it's a little uncomfortable at first because it's kind of weird and it's so real. And then they had a good sex and it's just like, I'm celebrating, I'm drinking champagne. I'm like, I'm so happy for them because this is such a wild experience, and to have it at least so far turn out like well, but also again, like real, because there were those uncomfortable moments. It wasn't just all, you know, I don't know. It doesn't feel fabricated at all or put on at all.
Also, I don't remember what I was going to say. Never mind. But then, you know, on the other end of it, of course, we've got our faves, Jessica and Mark.
Bekah, I am so obsessed with Jessica and Mark. It's probably my most favorite television to watch. I am literally like, I'm salivating, waiting to see them again on screen over and over and over again. It is so...
She was... Oh my God.
It is so...
It's so like... It's so obvious, like, what's going on, just like in her face and just like in everything.
Now, I like Mark. He seems like a nice guy. But as each episode passes, I just want to punch a hole through the TV, grab him and take him back and be like, Mark, please watch this. Like, how does it have to be for him now watching this back? Where you're like, this is the most obvious thing I've ever seen in my life. This girl is literally begging you to leave her.
Oh, no.
She's begging you to leave her because she won't do it herself. She doesn't want to be that person on TV to accept your proposal and then leave you. So just end it, please. For the love of God. But don't, because it's great television.
She was literally about to wake up and initiate a buddy pillow fight and was like, you know.
Oh, no. When she said, good thing you don't snore and don't sweat. Those are two of my biggest pet peeves. You could potentially be in the cuddle zone.
Potentially.
Be in the cuddle zone.
I will maybe let you put your arm around me.
Broads, let us remember, these people aren't engaged, okay? Like, this isn't like we did a few blind dates and now we're talking about maybe dating. Like, she said yes to a proposal, by the way, after seeing him too. So, well, no, she re-accepted the proposal after seeing him. So he could potentially be a cuddle buddy. That's all she's giving this. That's crazy. And then when he jokingly offers that maybe they should just build like a pillow-like barrier, like they're back in the pods, and he's joking, but she's like, yeah, that would be excellent. Like, you know,
she's like, that's perfect, actually.
You know, the following night she's going to make him do it and be playful about it and be like, wouldn't it be funny if we actually did that? Maybe it would like spark intimacy. And they build the pillow and she falls asleep immediately with her back turned the other way.
Finally, I can breathe. But then actually, I don't know. So towards the end of their little clip, she was actually laughing at, like, genuinely laughing pretty hard at something he was saying. And I was like, okay.
I think she likes him. That's the thing. Like, I think
she's not attracted to him.
I think she, you know, she liked him and Barnett in the pods, right? So I think that she likes him enough personality-wise to say yes to him. Right. So she has to enjoy, you know, and he seems like a wonderful guy to hang out with.
Yes.
And he's so pleasant and he's making this so easy for her. Like anytime she says that she's uncomfortable, he is ready and willing to mold to whatever shape she needs him to. So it's not a difficult guy to get along with.
Well, she's also then says, though, I wouldn't change anything about him. And I was like, okay, you literally talked last night about the things you would change.
You're just like,
him.
I'm used to a bigger guy. Like,
I wouldn't change anything about him except maybe like 8 inches taller, maybe like another 30 to 40 pounds of muscle. Maybe if he could be a little more.
Another foot added to his like shoulder, like the broad width of his shoulders.
Just small things like a different face.
A different shoe size. I don't know.
Different smell. Yeah.
I know, I wrote that down too. I'm like, she literally said she wouldn't want to change anything.
I know. But then somehow they're actually not the biggest shit show.
I know. But they're my favorite to watch still.
I know. Mine too.
Think that it's
mine too.
It's because I don't know what Jessica we're going to get every clip. Because sometimes Jessica seems like she's literally screaming at Mark to be like, dump me. And then sometimes we have Jessica who's processing. And sometimes we have Jessica who's hoping that her and Barnett are going to bump into each other. Yeah. We have all different forms of Jessica, and I love them.
Yeah. I love them all. I love every single one.
I love all of her forms and all of her voices. All of them. Well.
Oh my God, yes, all of her. Okay.
Speaking of craziness.
Hold on 1 second. I hear Ruth just screaming. Let me see what's going on.
Okay. Sorry, Broads. Bekah had to take a quick mom moment because, as you parents know, sometimes your significant others aren't used to being at home as often as you are. And
apparently not. I'm like, why is she screaming? Oh, because she's covered in shit.
Remember the last time you and I were recording and Amber ran in? She literally ran in. Evan was supposed to be watching her, and I'm in the middle of recording, and Amber just runs into the studio and is like,
"You're like, what are you doing?"
I'm like, "Isn't your dad watching you?" Like, I don't understand.
Where is he?
Excuse me.
They're just trying to get shit done on the
Amber,
computer.
Where is your father? He took off because he needed a quick break. Okay.
He said he was going to get food.
Okay, so. Back to the chaos.
Before we get into Diamond and Carlton, should we take a quick break?
Yeah, before we get into them, good call.
While we mentally prepare ourselves for this.
Lord in heaven. Okay, Broads, well, it's no secret, or I hope it's not a secret, that Bekah and I feel very strongly about women's rights and female empowerment. And one industry that is in dire need of some reworking is birth control. I know my first time getting birth control was frustrating, confusing, and not all that easy of a process, almost like it was, I don't know, orchestrated by everyone besides women. Interesting. So thank God there's been an answer to our prayers, and it is Simple Health. They are truly, truly incredible and important. Simple Health is changing the game with online birth control prescriptions and free home delivery, making birth control convenient for everyone.
There are so many things that are great about Simple Health. And like you said, they're unbelievably convenient. You can just fill out an online health profile for a doctor to review. And if you're a good candidate, you'll have over 100 trusted brands of birth control to choose from, depending on what you want and need. And then your birth control ships right to your door monthly, so there's no hassle, no recurring appointments, and it's just that easy.
Simple Health is free with most insurance plans, and if you don't have insurance, it starts at $15 a month without it. Because at Simple Health,
that's crazy.
It's crazy. They believe that we should be put back in charge of our own bodies, not dictated by policy and insurance plans. And like you said, Bekah, I mean, it's crazy. For those of you who don't have insurance, you know how expensive birth control can be, or even if you do have insurance. So starting at $15 a month is crazy. It's crazy. I remember for many years, the amount that I was paying for birth control, I like shudder to think about, you know?
Yeah, I remember there was a point I couldn't afford it as a college student, because even with insurance.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And of course, Simple Health isn't a replacement for routine checkups with your doctor, but it is a way to streamline those appointments. If you want to give Simple Health a try for free, we got you. Just go to simplehealth.com/chatty or enter chatty at checkout.
Again, don't miss your chance to try Simple Health for free. Go to simplehealth.com/chatty or just enter code chatty at checkout, and don't miss out on a better way to get birth control with Simple Health by going to simplehealth.com/chatty or enter promo code chatty at checkout.
All right, broads. Well, right now, we're all trying to get up our immune system ASAP. Literally every morning, you'll find me standing at the kitchen sink, popping vitamins like it's my dang job. But did you know that one of the best things you can do for your immune system that is often overlooked is getting good, high quality sleep? And I am so thankful that I just happened to get a new mattress from Helix delivered right before this whole thing started. And let me tell you, I have never slept so good in my entire life. Oh my God.
Helix has been voted the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2019 and 2020 by both GQ and Wired magazine. So, you know, they're not messing around when it comes to getting you the best night's sleep possible. And no matter how you sleep or what position you sleep in, there is a specific mattress model just for you. You can start off by taking the 2-minute quiz on their website or get your specific recommendations, and you're one step closer to waking up more well-rested.
I took the quiz and was matched with the Helix Dusk Luxe mattress because I sleep on my side and Evan sleeps on his back, and one of us prefers it a little more medium and the other one prefers a little more firm. If you do not end up loving your new mattress, Helix offers a 100-night risk-free trial, but based on my own experience, I'm pretty sure you're going to love it. I'm telling you, broads, this mattress is insane. And the test that you take is so in depth. They're making sure that you are at your most comfortable getting your best sleep. The delivery was so quick and easy. I didn't have to lift a finger. Plus, all the mattresses come with a 10-year warranty, so you really will be sleeping easy.
And right now, for all our Chatty Broads listeners, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. You can get that at helixsleep.com/chatty. That's Helix, HELIX, sleep.com/chatty for up to $200 off. And you get 2 free pillows.
Pretty free cool. Pillows, too. Dang. And their pillows are nice. I got some of those. A comfy wumpy.
Oh, baby.
Comfy wumpy.
What size did you get?
Of a mattress? Girl, yeah. we do Cal King.
Hell yeah.
Evan's very tall, and so he likes the long mattresses, and also we both need our space. We are not cuddle bugs when we sleep.
We got the king. I mean, we upgraded to a king. Can't remember how long ago, and there's no going back.
Oh, yeah, because you guys used to have was it a double?
Yes, we had a full. Yeah. A full.
Or at a full.
I don't know where
whatever.
I don't know where the word full came from in.
You're like, it was
came from
tight.
In. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Yeah, it wasn't, but king is.
Oh, yeah,
fantastic.
no.
Anyway,
we are
so Diamond and Carlton.
Oh, my Lord. Okay. So we see them in their separate spaces, and she's saying that after everything that Carlton told her, that she was in shock and she needed to think and pray like in her own room. And I get the sense from the conversation, or from what she's saying to the producers, is that she does have a deep connection with Carlton, But her biggest issue, it seems, isn't the fluid piece, it's the trust situation. At least that's what she's, at least that's what she's communicating, is that's,
also, Also, like, I think, I can't remember if she said something about red flags in this conversation or when she was sitting with him later.
Yeah.
But the way things went down was a little concerning with him, And then, of course, things get even more concerning. But it's like, the least of my worries getting engaged to this guy is whether or not he's had bisexual relationships in the past.
Well, after their conversation, even the day before when they're first together in their hotel room and he's got his whole like attitude with her before he talks about being fluid, like that in itself was like, what's going on with him? He seems all over the place. And yes, I know this is a very sensitive subject that they talk about later, but the behavior that was demonstrated was concerning. To say the least.
Yes.
To say the least.
Yes, agree. Anything else about them? This is a brief scene.
Yeah,
no?
I mean, he says in it, all I would say is that he says that he cares about her, but understands that it's a lot for anyone to take in. So again, it looked like from his perspective that we were going to probably see a Carlton that was maybe a little more receptive to understanding that she would need to process this because it's, he's like he says, I know it's a lot to take in. And we don't necessarily see that Carlton when it actually happens later on.
No. Okay, now Damien and Giannina. First of all, why did Damien need to be talked into getting a massage?
Well, he said he's never gotten one before. So it was his first ever massage. So I think it was like he wasn't wanting to necessarily get one. But Damien's energy screams. He's never gotten a massage before. It is now officially his most favorite thing. And he goes once a week. And he's a robe guy now. He was loving that robe that he had. And he wants them to now have matching robes.
Honestly, I can't stand him either. I can't stand either of them.
Damien just makes...
He's just the particular kind of guy he's the kind of guy that he's very much like a rule follower.
Yeah.
And that would drive me fucking batshit crazy. Because he's the kind of guy that's like, wait, are you sure that you can park there? Because I don't think you're supposed to park there. And I just be like, shut the fuck up. I'm going to park there, okay?
No, Damien just makes me uncomfortable. Just he's not my vibe. He seems like a nice enough guy, but he's just, he's just not my deal. Not my deal so much. So she then...
Well, he had these like dead eyes too. And he's going, we feel like we've been together much longer than we have. And I'm like, is that in an ominous way? Like you feel like you've been together. We feel like we've been together.
Yeah, like she's absolutely
It feels like we've
exhausting.
been together 40 years. And I don't know how much more I can take of this.
I can only handle
And then he
so
said
much.
the most unconvincing, I love her. Very much.
I think though that too is...
I love her. I think very much.
I think that too is Damien though. I don't think that he's... It's because it's weird because like we get the box proposal where it's so over the top, but also he does seem a little bit like he's going to have a hard time maybe with certain parts of intimacy. I don't know. Or like, or passion, I should say. I don't know. Well, passion is not an issue on her end because she legit straddles him and is massaging him while she's having an interview with the camera. Like she's not massaging him and talking to him. She is massaging him, straddling him and looking at the camera and being like, oh my God, I love him so much. Like this is everything. I'm so happy I'm doing this. Like looking into the camera. It's just like, I don't think this is supposed to be how it goes. I think you're just supposed to be talking to him and the camera's filming you, not you fully engaged. Like how I'm going to be fully engaged with my OnlyFans camera. That was what was happening with the
100%. I also noticed like the way that he was massaging, again, just can't stand it. Like very gentle, like too gentle. Like I want someone that's going to like rearrange my muscles because they're pressing so hard. I need someone to get in there.
Yes.
And with those timid fingers, I was just getting I was getting annoyed just watching.
Well, you know what the other thing that kind of threw me off is that in the very first episode, if you remember, there's a scene when you see the guys all first talking together and Damien was massaging a random guy's back that we never found out more from. And then he's like, all right, guys, that I'm done. Like again, it made it seem like he had been giving all these men massages. But then we find out that Damien's never given a massage or gotten a massage. So he's like the masseuse that never... He's like the massage therapist that like never has gotten a massage. So as soon as like he gets
I
this,
forgot about that scene. Completely forgot.
I'm like, dude, Damien is hyped. He's like, this is my moment. I'm gonna blow her away with my massages. The guys all loved him. This is my thing. And I'm just like, you've really never gotten one, and you go out of your way to give other people. This is what threw me off.
Yeah, that's so true. How weird.
He's such an interesting fellow, that Damien.
So odd.
Well, then we see Kenny and Kelly. And again, I have thoughts about Kenny's wardrobe, and yet I'm still attracted to him. What's that about?
I'm sorry, you know whose wardrobe I have thoughts about? Did you see Kelly's sunglasses and her outfit?
No, because I was really just honed in on... Oh my God.
Are you serious?
No, what was it?
She had those like mom shades. Hold on, I just have to show you. She had these like the shades that were like popular, like that Paris Hilton would wear in like 2004, where there's no frame, there's just the glass.
Oh,
do you know what I'm talking
I remember
about?
when those were living. Those were everything to have a pair like that.
Like, and then they, oh my God, wait, no, I gotta find, they were like this, Jess. This kind of sunglasses.
Oh my God. Oh, I used to have a pair like that. I loved those.
Yeah, years ago. And now Kelly's wearing that, and then she had this incredibly loud, like, two-piece satin outfit on. It was a lot.
Then they're perfection together. What
was he wearing? I didn't even notice that.
It's just again, for me, I'm not saying that, some people may love it, but again, the wardrobe is a big deal breaker for me. And, the tattoos, the shorts he was wearing, the shirt. Now, the combination with them together, why are all the men wearing that necklace? Is that a microphone? I don't understand. That weird, like, hemp necklace. Did you notice all the guys?
Oh, probably.
Is that a mic?
Probably, like on Paradise.
I'm just kind of
on
like...
Paradise, how they have that, like, macrame looking thing?
Come on, guys. Just, like, why don't they just hook it up and just no more... Hey, reality TV, no more with the hemp necklaces.
Because then they have to wear that pack like Kelly did.
I know, but I think the world would just prefer maybe just like a thin black string versus that giant macrame necklace.
Them trying to disguise it in this like 2002 surfer boy.
Guys, we know that the fact that they're all wearing that necklace, we know what's going on. Like, just
all it's missing is one of those like big old shark tooth things,
Honestly,
like
I would rather it be a shark tooth. Just a string, and the shark tooth could be the mic. I'm fine with that. With that.
I'd rather it be like a whole Hawaiian lei or something like that.
Yeah, a lei would be great. The macrame necklace is going to be
wearing leis the whole time.
It's like, you guys, they just look like they're really enjoying their stay. But with that macrame necklace, but even with the ensemble, I'm still attracted to him. I don't know if it's quarantine, but man.
Well, then it's confirmed because you're like, oh, he's got a vibe. And then she says he's the best kisser she's ever kissed, ever.
Ugh. I feel like you can tell. Maybe that's why we're attracted to him. I think you can see a good kisser. You can smell a good kisser.
You can smell a good kisser from my wife. And he's like the right kind of sensitive, because like Damien, I would just be like, no, just fucking either kiss me or don't. What are you doing? Are you trying to have sex with me? Like what's happening here? But then Kenny is just like the right amount. You just need a certain kind of sensitive, It's an intuition.
Well,
it can't be taught. It can't be taught, and he has it.
When they are, after they're making out in the ocean, when they go back and they have their shower scene, He is showering.
Shit was spicy.
I mean, he is showering her off, and then she pushes him down, and he's like eye level with her tits, and she is then showering herself with his like face in them. And I'm telling you, it was like, I was like, you know, ready to call Evan and be like, hey, we gotta we gotta
step it up a notch.
We gotta step it up a notch. We gotta reenact some of this. Because for real, this is hot and heavy. And then he makes some comment where he's like, I love bending down to kiss her because I almost throw my back out every time. And it's a constant reminder that I need to stretch. And I'm like, sexy, but no. Throwing your back out every time doesn't sound super hot, but I'm glad that you guys are vibing with each other. So their chemistry seems legit. That's for sure.
It does. And meanwhile, Amber and Barnett are basically on spring break.
I loved
over there.
The transition between the couples who are all alone and then Amber and Barnett on in a packed zone on the beach.
They're like, did you bring the tequila? We hid they were making some joke about that. It was cracking me up.
And then their conversation about what being a vegan was killing me.
Wait, I actually knew what he was talking about. He's like, what about the people that don't eat the fruits or vegetables? I was like, oh, you mean keto? I think you're literally talking about keto.
No, because he was talking about breatharians. He was talking about the people who talk about absorbing sunlight.
That's not real.
Oh,
that's not
You don't
real.
know about breatharians?
No, I know people say it's real. Like, I know people claim that they do that, but they're liars.
But I think that people who are breatharians eat very minimally, and then other than that they eat the sun.
I know I've seen it. I just think they're fucking lying, and they're sneaking Lara bars when the camera's not rolling.
Now here's my thing, and this is why, again, not a fan of Barnett and Amber personally, but I think that they are very lovely together. I think it was kind of sweet because you have Amber talking about how excited she is to be there. She's never been out of the country, and then Barnett's being like, is this vegan? And she's like, it means you can't eat cheese, right? And he's like, well, what's the one that you can't eat plants? And then also you're just supposed to like absorb the sun. And she doesn't know. And she's like, I feel like they're teaching each other things, and the rest of us are kind of scratching our heads going like, this is ridiculous.
They're learning and growing
together. But I feel
together.
like they're teaching each other things. And then she's like, dance with me, and they're dancing. And that's why I feel like they're perfect together, because I feel like she's probably going to be in awe of some of the things he says. Like, wow, I didn't know that. And then he's going to be impressed by her in certain way. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. They're perfect together.
I just found an article, by the way, about breatharians where somebody went to a retreat. I'm definitely going to read this later because this is just my kind of article.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they spend the first 3 days with no food or water, which that sounds like a fast track to death. 3 days without water?
They really
I mean,
live on the edge.
I know some of you partying broads have probably gone 4 or 5 days and you're like, I haven't touched one of those H2O beverages in about a week.
Oh, that's a frequent occurrence for me. Until I actually started using that Hydrate Spark water bottle that texts me. One of our sponsors texts me and is just like, hey, bitch, you need to drink your water. I'm like, thank you so much.
You haven't lifted me up to take a drink in going on 6 days.
But cheers to this.
We're concerned.
To this White Claw.
Cheers.
But yeah, I think that they're perfect.
And that's when, Jessica and Mark are having a beautiful picnic.
I mean,
they really are everywhere in this, I guess, same resort. I know what you're talking about now. They're like all in a million different places. I guess it's just really big.
Trippy, but the spread is incredible. That the cheese board that they're rocking, I was drooling. Mark's talking about how scared he is of the ocean, and all I'm thinking about, or how scared he used to be of the ocean, and all I could think about is probably how turned off Jessica was hearing about Mark being scared of the ocean.
What? Then she says, like, this is the first time, she starts talking about how, like, this is the first time she's had a real connection. That's a big red flag for me, personally.
Yeah, and then she makes some comment about how normally she would meet people based on social setting or social status. And the social status, I'm like, are you Victoria F? I'm just like, now I need to know more about your personal life. Like now I'm itching.
Oh, I want to look her up so
I know
bad.
it's killing me. Now I'm itching to know like what really specifically do you do? Social status. Now I'm thinking she talked about how she's never dated a guy younger than her before, I think, in the very first episode. So now I'm wondering, I'm like, oh, do you date daddies who got the cash? Or is that normally?
Oh, that didn't even cross my mind. I had no idea what she was talking about.
Do you normally hook
actually.
up with the Barnetts, maybe? Do you have sex with like the cute guys at the bars who are the young frat boys? And then do you actually get into relationships with the rich daddies who have a high social status? Because the social status is a very weird thing to throw out there, I feel like, when you're saying that
That is a very...
Like, I get the term social setting. That's how you meet people. But social status? Strange. Very strange.
Maybe she was just like throwing it around and she's just talking about like, I don't know, maybe she doesn't know what that means.
I feel like she does. I feel like Jessica.
Where's she from?
They're all from, well, she was originally from Chicago, but they're all in Atlanta.
Social status is, I feel like, something that's not really a thing except like in old money New York. Like social status. Interesting.
A wasp.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, Mark is over the moon about her. He's like, you're everything that I ever wanted.
Well, and he says back, they're having the conversation. He goes, it's either him or her. I can't remember which one said it. It doesn't matter. But one of them goes, it's deeper than anyone could ever understand. And I was like, I definitely understand what's going on.
All of us are raising our hands, watching, going, no, I'm pretty sure we all see what's happening.
And it ain't that deep.
And sir, you are misguided, to say the least.
Well, and then she's worried about his mom out of nowhere.
See, to me, this is another Jessica panic move of being like, please break up with me. She knows that he's close.
Grasping at straws.
Right. She knows he's close with his mother. So now she's going to she's planting little seeds to be like.
Or she's setting up for her breaking up with him.
Yes. Planting all these little seeds. Yeah. It's like, it's the age. It's can't get over the dynamic between the pod now versus real life. It's throwing me off. Your mom. And then she's throwing out, even in the interview booth, she's talking about how it's going to be so hard on the outside and the challenges that they're going to face because of the age and their families and all this. And you're kind of like, you are really throwing a lot out there to really prepare, I think, the viewers for your imminent breakup that you are begging for.
Yeah.
And then my most favorite part is that, because again, as she's saying all those things, then she keeps going back in interviews being like, this is the most, the best relationship I've ever been in, blah, blah, blah. And she's doing this opposite thing, right? And then at the end of their conversation, they toast, and she says, cheers to doing new things, facing our fears, and to me being your biggest cheerleader. And then cheers him and then goes, loves you.
Loves you.
Like he's one of her bitches at brunch. It was a brunch, but that is what I say to my girls when we're at brunch. Loves you. Cheers.
That shit killed me.
I could not.
Loves you, hun.
Loves you, bitch.
That killed me.
And that is the perfect definition for how she views Mark. Mark is her friend. Mark is her buddy.
Bud.
Then we see, like, again, and the truest of lovebirds.
The lovebirds.
Everything. I just have nothing but wonderful things to say about the two of them. I do think that they gypped them with the location. They put them like in some little corner of this gigantic hotel with like two lawn chairs. It's like, hey, what about you give them the gorgeous spread?
Girl, they're at that place where you put them in Cleveland and they're going to be like, this is the most beautiful place we ever been to. This is lovely.
What? You are very, very right. They're so sweet. I mean, their conversation, he's just staring at her dreamily and what does he say? Oh my God.
Oh yeah, he was beaming. Looking at her the whole time.
And in his interviews, he's crying.
On top of the world.
He's literally like, there are tears coming out talking about her. And then he tells her that he's like, I wasn't that happy, to be honest. And I think because I was missing you. But now I'm happy. I mean, I can't. I can't handle it. It's too much.
Well, he also said he had never really been happy in a relationship before, and I could totally see that. I could totally see him being the guy that's just,
probably
having a hard time. I don't know.
He also probably, he seems very patient and like giving. So he probably, stays in for too long where you're like, hey, bud, you deserve more. You got to move on and whatever. You don't have to always be the one taking care of everything. And it seems like he found the person who it's like Lauren is a beam of light and seems like she handles her own shit. And, if they're not together still, I'm going to die. Just FYI.
I'm almost positive they
have to be.
But that's also because I saw people I felt like I saw stuff that might have led me to believe. But of course, they're the one that's gonna make. They're the ones that are gonna.
Even if they were together till the end, like when they first showed it, it's still been months since this came out, and now we're all on quarantine. So God knows how many people are still together.
True. True. She said I would have never met a man like Cameron outside of this, and I was just curious, is that because he's white? I wasn't sure why.
I don't know. I'm probably that also. He's in robotics, and I think she is like. It makes it sound at least like she's an influencer. She's a content creator, so I feel like content creators aren't frequently crossing paths with like AI robotics. Folk.
True.
But yeah, I mean, she does then talk about him meeting her dad, and she's nervous about that. Yes. She says her dad is going to grill him, and it's a combination of the fact of. First of all, like she said, she's never dated a white guy before. But second, we find out that she's never taken home anyone she's ever dated.
Never brought in, I know.
And she's what, like 30, yeah. I think 32, 31, 32. So he's going to get grilled. But he was so sweet. He's like, that's fine. It's like there's no hoop he wouldn't jump through for her. He's ready and willing. And then they're talking about having children together and how he's aware that like it's going to be tough for them. But they think that they're going to do a beautiful job raising them together. And then she says,
I know.
And then she says they're going to have two parents that love them. One's white and one that's black and fine as hell. They're just, I can't handle it. It's wonderful. I just love watching them. It's just such a lovely breakup on screen between all the other shit shows.
Yeah, I was going to say, who I don't love watching? Oh, God. It was so bad, dude. Like, it was so bad.
Bekah, this really bummed me out because I felt like this had the potential to be... I felt like this had the potential to be something really constructive on television. And like a really constructive conversation because obviously Diamond came in ready and willing to have like a vulnerable conversation where she was frustrated because she felt like he wasn't being straightforward with her and she was nervous and she wanted to talk. And I felt like this could have been a really productive demonstration of this for television for people who maybe, haven't encountered like other fluid people in their lives. And this could have been really cool. And it just got so out of hand. It was just insane. It was insane.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, he comes out and immediately I'm thrown off because he's just like, hey, what's up? Good to see you. What's cracking? How's it going? And I'm like,
and you're like, no, I was immediately
did we
thrown
miss
off.
Something?
Especially when you see her going from her interview with the producers and she's emotional and she says, by the way, she says in the interview beforehand that she's hoping that it's going to work itself out because she loves him, but she just needs to talk to him.
Right.
So the vibe that we're getting from her going into this is that she wants it to work and she loves him, but she needs to hear from him. You know? But like you said, it was like, whoa, it just threw everything off. She says,
Yeah.
She says that she feels like she kept it real from day one, and she feels like he wasn't being honest about who he is.
He said she felt like he left out who he really is.
And then she says that she feels like he kind of played the experiment. And here's then where I can see obviously then him getting defensive, because I would be defensive too if someone said that if you felt like you weren't ready to be open about certain things and then someone said that you were playing the experiment, I would get frustrated too.
Right.
I understand being like, I don't feel like you're being fully transparent, but then playing that
Yeah, agreed. It's like that's a bit of a stretch, and like that's kind of accusing him of something that's maybe not
but
fair.
she was being calm. But then he said that this has never been an issue with girls before. Now, if we remember last week, or not last week, last episode, he was saying that this has been problematic in his life, and that this has been, he would literally was in this whole conversation, Bekah, he pinballed from no one's ever had a problem with this to everyone's always had a problem with this. You're the only one who's ever had a problem with it. You're so typical. Everyone always, like, it was like, so what is it, guy? What is it?
Well, and that's the thing. He starts it out with dishonesty. Yeah. So it's like, and I don't think this plays into the bisexuality or his specific bisexuality conversation, but like the dude's been giving off dishonest vibes like from day one. Like there's something shady about him, and it wasn't about his sexuality. It's that he seems to be immature and doesn't seem to know how to be fully honest with a partner about like just other shit. Like, I don't know. I can just so easily see him lying about like where he was, or stretching the truth. And then, honestly, that's what he did as a form of gaslighting, and then turning it around and being like, what? It's never been an issue for anyone else.
Yes.
And then, so of course, she says, then why did you wait? Which,
good question, you know.
And then he said, right. And then he said, because I didn't want it to change the way you perceive me. And she said, but you said it's never been an issue before.
She was nailing him, and he was then getting more upset. And then she threw out this comment, and this is again another one that I would have, especially coming from his place, that I could understand him being super upset about, is that she says that she's upset he didn't tell her from the get-go, and she wants to be sure that he actually wants to be with a female. She throws out that comment about knowing if he actually wants to be with a female, which again, for someone who's fluid and has had to struggle with people being judgmental, this is going to be incredibly triggering for sure. And it was the same type of conversation like they had the last time, where she threw that out, and he was just like, that's a stereotype that's always wrong. You know, that's a judgment that's always wrong. So as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, this is already going rough. This is about to get even more rough, because he's not going to handle this well.
Yep. Well, and then in an interview, he says, like, it cuts to him saying, last night she was there for me, then today she has an issue. Nah. And I'm like, wait, what? Did you forget about how the conversation ended last night? Like, that did not end on like in a tidy little bow.
Well, the thing that's also crazy is that like it ended where she was rubbing his back, and she was just like, I need to process this. And he was the one being like, yeah, go back, just go.
He was like, go, just go.
It was like, whoa, dude, she was being really generous, and you kind of snapped last night. So you need to understand that she's now going to have her moment, friend, just like you had yours. Like this is a process. This is going to be a conversation.
And then he just like is twisting what's happening, like, because he's now trying to pin it on her, being like, you just can't accept me because I'm bi, basically. Because he says like, oh, you're taking off a ring because I'm speaking my truth, and like, I don't need those vibes. And it's like, bro, have some self-awareness. That's not what's happening here. You're acting like a fucking 12-year-old boy in the way you're handling this conversation.
And then and through this the whole piece, he's then throwing out, you're giving me a different response than anyone has ever given me. What? This is the opposite.
I know.
And then him making that comment like, I'm okay with or without this situation happening between you and me. Just acting like he doesn't care about her at all, and like, I'm fine whether you leave me or not. And it was so hard because you could tell Diamond very much wanted to have a conversation about it. Now, granted, yes, she threw out things that were hurtful and that needed to be spoken about, like, hey, that it's, we need to have a conversation about this. I need to inform you that that's just not the case. But like I said, that's why this conversation bummed me out so much, because I felt like it could be such a constructive thing for the TV viewers to see, like, nationwide. And then it just ended up with him being like, go ahead, and trying to get her to throw the drink in his face earlier. Like, just get it out. You want it. And it was like, dude, no, what is going on?
it got just so nasty.
So nasty.
At that point, they were just yelling over each other, and girls have never, and I just thought it was so bizarre how he kept saying the thing of girls have never reacted like this before. And I'm like, what? This is really what you're going to keep resorting to? It's just like, it was so obvious that wasn't true.
Yeah.
And then, like, when he said, this is why I don't deal with bitches like you, it's just like, oh, God.
No. And right before that, by the way, he said, nobody has had an issue with it except you. And it was girls who weren't even remotely close to who you are. And I'm like, you literally, that statement, that was word for word.
You're saying two different things.
Nobody has had an issue with it except you. And it was girls who weren't even remotely close to who you are. What? Stop.
So apparently nobody is now a group of people
who,
and
then he chucks the ring, by the way, in the pool, and the producer's like, I got it. Our budget is so small. We're gonna have to go send Steven to scuba dive after that ring to get to the bottom.
Yes, it's Swarovski, but you're gonna fucking jump in and get that right after this scene ends.
My God, you know our budget is small. We have Rory filming this entire thing.
Whatever, we can use that ring for one of the other couples. Just get it out of there.
But yeah, yes, that's why then he said, like you said, I don't deal with bitches like you. And that's then when she throws her drink in his face, which I'm so bummed that she did, which, I mean, I get it. He was literally like taunting her to do it, literally saying, do it, and then calls her a bitch. And then proceeds to start insulting her appearance after she throws a drink in his face and is saying how her I'm just like, you're trash. And then she says, he's gonna start then. She says fuck you, and he goes, nah, fuck like me. It was so bad. It was so hard to watch.
It was so bad. And then after he proceeds to yell at her about her weave slipping and just being a general fucking junior high boy, he then turns around and says, this is not the woman for me. She is ignorant and stereotypical. And I'm like, this is about her being ignorant.
It's like, dude,
okay.
You insult her physical appearance. So he does that. But then she makes that comment, watch my ass to the next dick boy, which is, I mean, here's the difference though, right? She says that super offensive. He says what he says about her hair, super offensive. Okay. But then the difference in reaction is, like you said, him saying, this is not the woman for me. She's ignorant. Da, da, da. He's popping champagne. She, on the other hand, is weeping, sprawled out on a table.
Yeah.
And she's like, I didn't want it to be like this and all this. And that's then where you see a difference in, yes, this was just a terrible interaction, but she's grieving. And yes, I'm sure in his heart he is grieving, but it's just.
That's his problem, though, is that his exact problem is that what is going on in his heart, he doesn't know how to express himself in a healthy way. He doesn't know how to be honest about what he's feeling. He really doesn't know how to be vulnerable in that way, because whenever he gets hurt, he just starts lashing out, or he starts like putting up this facade. I mean, even when he was nervous to tell her, he was being like a fucking dick, just like a full-on dick to her, because he couldn't express that he was like nervous, instead of being a fucking mature adult and be like, there's just a lot going on in my head right now. I want to have a conversation later. And it's hard for me to pretend like everything's all happy and cool. Instead, he's just being an asshole, being like, I'm daddy, blah, 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 blah. And just like, oh God, like get some therapy, please. Get some counseling.
It was so rough. I'm so curious to see like where both of them are at, if they've had a conversation since, like, I don't know. Well,
so I was confused. Then later in the interviews, did he feel bad? Because he said like he didn't show up as the man in the pod.
I think, well, he said that he's not the guy that she fought with at the pool. He's the guy that she fell in love with in the pod. And then he says that both of their hearts got overshadowed by pride, etc. It felt like he recognized what was that it was problematic, but there wasn't a lot of humility there, where it wasn't like I am grieving and this went terribly wrong, versus I feel like then Diamond did feel that way, where she was disappointed about like the way that they acted and how it went down, and he just, I don't know, it was hard. I didn't like watching it.
No, it was unpleasant. And then she was just out, which I was like, okay.
And then she was out, and it ended so fast. And then he said he's leaving without his fiance, and it's beautifully sad, which is another weird thing. Beautifully sad.
What's beautiful about that?
And I'm just like, are you a 4? You a 4 in the Enneagram? You think it's beautiful because it's very sad. I understand that.
It's been a long time since I've felt this upset. Yes, exactly. Ugh. Romanticizing the pain.
Well, before we get into the couples meeting up, which they did, thank you. Oh man, I needed it so bad, and I was so grateful. But before we jump into that, can we take a moment, Broads? I have to admit something. I have a problem. I am a shoe and bag addict. Really, it is an issue. But lately, my go-to brand for shoes, I do feel better about these days, because now there's also bags. There's bags. It's Rothy's. Rothy's creates stylish shoes and bags for life on the go, and better yet, they're sustainable, so I can feel good every time when purchasing a new bag or a new pair of shoes.
That's right. Rothy's shoes are made from repurposed plastic water bottles, 50 million so far to be exact. And plus they own their operate their manufacturing workshop to ensure safe practices. And they even ship the shoes directly in the box without any additional wasteful packaging. So this is a company that truly prioritizes sustainability from start to finish.
And like I said, not only do they make the cutest shoes, which Bekah and I have been talking about for at least a solid year now. They offer a collection of bags now, and I can't say enough good things about these bags. I bought the large catch-all bag in red the other day, and I use it as a bag to carry around not only my things, but also my daughter's toys and snacks when we're on the go. It fits all of it, and this thing is so durable.
Oh my God, I hadn't seen their bags yet, but I'm looking up online right now, and they're so cute.
The bags are everything. They're everything. And so they're super cute, but they're also extremely functional. Refinery 29 recently called Rothy's bags as fashionable as they are functional. Also check this out. Their bags are sustainably knit from 100% recycled materials like marine plastic, and their signature thread made from repurposed plastic water bottles. And they're sourced within 30 miles of coastal environments. The marine plastic that goes into Rothy's bags is gathered from communities without recycling programs. This helps create a more profound impact right from the start. It's really incredible. And on top of all of that, like we were saying, the bags are so cute, and they're machine washable just like the shoes, which is amazing, especially if you're like me, who's a queen of snacks in her purse, and it spills and the bottom of my purses get disgusting. And normally if they're canvas, it's just a mess. Now with the Rothy's bag, I can throw it in the washing machine and it's good as new afterwards. Wow. It's amazing. I love Rothy's so much.
Well, check out all the amazing shoes and bags available right now at rothys.com/chatty. Style and sustainability meet to create your new favorites. So head to rothys.com, rothys.com/chatty.
Yeah, I'm very, very passionate about these bags. I'm obsessed.
They're cute as heck.
They're so cute. They have a lot of cute patterns too. I love the little camo one in the cut.
I know. I like that bright poppy. That's very cute.
Yes. So cute.
Okay. So.
All right. So the couples are finally meeting up, and
they're finally reuniting.
When they see each other, by the way, it all happens so quickly. All of a sudden, they're all just like with each other. And Jessica's face is so priceless the moment that she realizes that she's not just going to have a date with Mark. She is thrilled. Absolutely thrilled, because she knows this isn't going to be a romantic candlelit dinner then when he's going to be pressuring afterwards for them to get intimate.
She's like, I don't care who these people are, if they're just random people at the resort, if they're from another reality TV show. Yes.
I'm just going to
An
get
excuse.
drunk and fall asleep on the bed in my comfies afterwards. Well, Nick Lachey, or excuse me, no, not Nick. Vanessa Lachey shows up alone to explain the situation because Nick has realized that he is indeed too big for this show. He's just too big for it.
The budget is too low. He's going to be out the next few episodes.
So he can't even show up at this point. He's too busy. So it's just Vanessa braving it by herself.
Or the budget for the show is so low they only can pay Nick for the first and last episode.
And Nick's like, I'm obviously Nick Lachey, so it's going to be too low of a budget for me, but my wife Vanessa will take it.
Oh my God.
She introduces all of them, which I realized then isn't, at first I was like, why is she saying the names of all the couples? And I'm like, oh my God, some of these people left a little earlier and didn't know for sure like who picked who, and they don't know what the people on the other side, so they have to introduce them because though they're walking in together, like for example, you know, the guys, when Barnett walks in with Amber, some of the guys probably don't know if that's Amber or LC.
Totally.
Because he was choosing in between them, which is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, true. I didn't even think about that.
So people might not know like who, you know, and even though I know that
that's so
they
true.
talked about leaving, or like how on day 10, that was when like they all waited till day 10. I feel like at least Lauren and Cameron, they made it seem pretty vocal that they only went until like day 5. So there's a chance that maybe they removed them earlier. And so maybe they don't even know who ended up with who. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy to think about that they are all just seeing each other for the first time. It's so weird. Not just like, you know, and again, too, these people were all going on dates with each other, which I forgot about. I just had been thinking about the ones that we really saw, like the whole Jessica Barnett dynamic, but not all of them. All of them had been dating each other for the most part.
So weird. Oh yeah, totally. Because Lauren brings up both Mark and Barnett later about like what she thought they looked like and such and such.
Everyone's so chatting with each other, which is so weird.
I just thought it was so funny because Vanessa's like, ladies and gentlemen, we want you to meet the people you did not get engaged to. And Jessica, you know, we already know she's about to be super heated. And it killed me when she goes, he looks exactly like what I thought he was going to look like.
Honestly, all I wanted her to say is to be like, he looks exactly what I imagined when I masturbated. She was vibing on him so hard. And she also said, she's like, well, you know, I would think about him around the clock when we were talking. I mean, I think she was obviously way more into Barnett than she was into Mark, because we saw how quickly she was like, when she was in the pods, when she was like, Barnett, what do you need me to do? When all of a sudden he was, you know, wanting her to maybe break up with Mark. But now that she has the ick with Mark, she is about ready to throw herself on top of Barnett.
I could not believe.
Well, they start partying together after Vanessa reminds them that their weddings are 4 weeks away. They're busting out shots, and I'm like, this is what we need. This is what we are here for.
Oh, yeah.
The drunk moments.
Well, they're all drinking, and the first thing that raises my eyebrows is when Kenny says, Gianna should model, or I think he said
he
Gigi.
calls her Gigi. So what I'm wondering, I'm wringing my hands because I'm so nervous. What I'm wondering is is Gigi one of the ones that Kenny had been talking to that we didn't see in the pod?
Seems like
it, right? So because he made some comment, because he's like, I'm not surprised. You can kind of pick it up from like voice and I'm not surprised that she's gorgeous. So it sounds like they had been talking in the pod, and then Kenny's talking about how hot Gigi is, and then we have Kelly talking about how fine Cameron is, and flirting with Cameron and talking about like how sexy
Kelly was flirting it
she
up.
was flirting with Cameron, talking about how sexy.
Saying his voice was like a massage.
It was like, so then all of a sudden I'm going from this moment of thinking that Kenny and Kelly are solid to now I'm having some question marks.
Which is hilarious because I don't know if you noticed when Vanessa was talking about like, will these factors affect your relationships, blah, blah, blah. Did you see Kenny and Kelly like vigorously nodding? Like,
there's
no,
nothing that can separate us. I know. And then I'm wondering, I mean, maybe it's just like they're excited to see everyone and maybe she's super playful and he's like thinks.
Maybe they're both super secure in their relationship.
And maybe, they're
just
comfortable
like,
flirting or talking about, like.
Seems a little soon, consider they've never interacted with other people, though, since they got together.
It's a little bit of a curiosity. We shall see. We shall see. And then I was dying when Damien was like, Amber is a beautiful woman, but she is a lot for sure.
And Lauren says Mark is smaller than she thought.
Which made me like, is he...
Poor guy can't catch a fucking break.
He must have given off an energy in the pod that made all these women think that he was just this like huge beefcake or something.
Apparently so. I'm confused about that.
I also think maybe he's got, when certain people, because he's not that small, when certain people have that kind of like bouncy energy and it makes them kind of seem like young and kind of like compact almost because they're bouncy. You know what I mean? Almost like how Kelly,
sure.
like Kelly seems small. Like he's like, Kenny said that she's like 5 foot or something, but Kelly's got that bouncy energy where you're like, yeah, she's just like this tiny little thing that's bouncy. Maybe Mark gives off that like that energy that makes him seem like quote unquote smaller because he's bouncy and energetic.
I do think Mark is probably, actually, let me see if I can find this out. How tall is Mark from Love is Blind? I think he's like 5'7". No, he's 5'9".
That's what I'm saying. He's not.
Which is the average male height in the U.S.
I don't understand. I know. That's what I'm saying. I bet it's an energy thing. I bet he just is energetic and kind of all over the place. So he seems kind of like a quick, like, little. I don't know. Because the fact that numerous people are mentioning it makes me think, I don't know. Well,
it was hilarious, though, because Lauren said that she was right about picturing Barnett as a frat bro.
Oh, my gosh.
She's like, well, I pictured him as being like a frat, and turns out I was exactly right.
She's like, nailed that one. Perfect.
And this is the guy everyone's been crying about.
Well, then we see all the guys talking together, and they're talking about how serious this is. And then Damien comes out.
Of course, Damien.
Damien is itching to make sure everyone knows about him and Gigi having the sex. And he says, he's like, why don't we talk about sex? You know what? I'll start. He literally said this is a serious conversation that everyone wants to know. And I'm going to ask for and I am asking for a particular reason. Sex is a big deal. I'll start. Giannina basically said, I am her dessert and plowed me like a field all night, fellas.
Is that really what he said? Oh.
But the 3/4 of it, yes. But I just summarized because he kept describing how she was like, I'm the dessert, blah, 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 blah. Kenny is getting hard. Mark takes a giant swig of his champagne and the panic is beginning to set in a little bit.
Meanwhile, Giannina is making another joke about not having sex in hundreds of days. And I'm like, just stop.
I know.
We already heard that joke.
Well, Lauren then asks if anyone's been getting laid. And, we all know already that Giannina, Amber, and Lauren did. And Amber is like talking about how she can't keep her hands off of Barnett, how she would have been okay with him with someone else initially because that was best for him. But now she can't imagine like he is her man. Jessica is fuming. And I have to also imagine, because we see Lauren later, that she's definitely making sure Jessica knows that her and Barnett are having great sex and that they are really into each other. Like she's making sure Jessica knows.
I know. I forget that the girls are on the same side.
The girls and the guys.
And the guys,
Yes.
I forget that they know each other.
Well,
what was cracking me up is that Lauren and Amber, meanwhile, were drunk and like chummy as fuck with each other, which was not something I was necessarily expecting. That was cracking me up.
I know. They're just like, they're both, you know what probably is? They're like, we found our person.
Yeah, I know. That's true. They're both super happy and they're drunk and they're stoked and they're
blissed out big time. Well, the guys
totally true.
are, asking Barnett. He's talking about pulling his back out. And then we see Mark saying that everyone is having sex and it sucks.
I know, poor guy.
He's starting to trip out. And then the girls are, Jessica's now concerned because now she's seeing how excited everyone is. Jessica is already...
And meanwhile, I am concerned because Jessica is starting to take a few too many sips of her drink, and I know where this is headed.
We all know where this is going at this point. We've seen Jessica with her vino, and we know that this could and let me explain to you this. The reason I am holding on, or that I could barely hold on off from starting to watch episode 5 is because I need to see where she ends up at the end of this night. I'm dying to find out. I am dying. Because we're seeing her and she's getting nervous. Lauren's asking if she's going to give him the pussy. Or if she gave him the pussy or if she's going to. I love Lauren so much. And then...
Oh, she said the poom poom or something, pomp, whatever the fuck she said. And then she's like, she's acting like she doesn't know what that means.
She's like, it's the pussy.
My girl is like 34. She knows what that means.
Well, she's then giving all the girls her typical explanation about the face and the voice and all that. And Amber's shading her by being like, are you guys just sharing the bed? Just cuddling though? Is that what it is? Very nice. And then they go to Kelly. And then Kelly says, that's how Kenny and I have been. We're waiting. We made out, but that's all we were doing. And then we see Kenny, and now my alarm bells are going off because we see Kenny then say to the men, I'll say this. I don't kiss and tell, but I did not and could not go for a run this morning because we were kissing so hard. So he fully manufactured to puff his chest up for the men's that more went down with him and Kelly than actually did.
I could not go for a run this morning. What does that mean?
I did not and could not go for a run this morning, which I guess if you literally cornered him, he could be like, we just kept making out. And so then I chose not to go for a run.
Yeah, maybe is he just
but the way...
Yeah, is he just insinuating he was up all night?
But the way that he said it, because Barnett had just made some comment about throwing his back out, and then Kenny was just like, I did not and could not get up for a run this morning. It was like, all right, now I'm getting a little nervous over here, Kenny. You're so cute, but these comments about Gigi, now this, I'm feeling a little nervous. I'm feeling a little nervous about it. And then Damien says, I do declare,
Kelly's
Kenny.
over there. Kelly's over there flirting it up,
I know.
So
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, well, so Jessica's about to get drunk and say shit to Barnett, and then Amber says the idea of Jessica getting him is laughable.
Dude, it's sad and mean, but I do understand if I'd be really vibing on a guy and we're engaged now, and now all of a sudden this girl shows up again. I'd be like, I'd be throwing around shade too. I will give her that, but not in an Amber fashion.
True.
But Jessica decides to go talk to Barnett. And by the way, right before she talks to Barnett, she says that the moment Barnett told me he wasn't ready to move on with me, my whole body gave out and I saw my life flash before my eyes. Which is dramatic. And all I can think about is her building a pillow fort between her and Mark and being like, this is very different energy than her body giving out and her life flashing before her eyes.
So dramatic. Oh my God.
Well, her and Barnett start talking. It's so uncomfortable where she's ready to be like, hi, how are you, best buddy? And she's like, give me some love. And they like hug each other awkwardly. And you just see her like when they're just like panning out, she's like throwing her body back, laughing, probably so frustrated about how windy it is outside that her hair isn't like perfectly like for Barnett. Barnett asks if she's having a good time, and she's just like, so much fun.
I'm having a blast.
But Barnett, again, through this whole thing is very calm. We see him say that he didn't, when he talked to Jessica, he never wanted to hurt her. And so definitely the energy that we're getting is that Barnett is wanting to talk to Jessica to be like, I'm sorry, I didn't, if I hurt you.
Right.
And Jessica is definitely wanting to have a conversation with Barnett because her body gave out and her life flashed before her eyes when he ended it with her. And now she's seeing him in person and he is her type. So there's that. And then Mark starts tripping balls and all of a sudden runs over to her and Barnett, tries to kiss her. She gives him her cheek, side hugs him and says, what's up? And it is unbelievably uncomfortable.
And it's like, why, Jessica? Because it's like, yeah, you're not going to fucking get Barnett back. Like,
if Barnett would... Now, Barnett, we saw how he acted in the pod, so I suppose there's a chance that all of a sudden Barnett starts getting fratty and starts being like, I like this idea of these women fighting over me again, and starts flirting it up with Jessica.
Starts getting a little bit of cold feet maybe too about the commitment. Yeah.
But I do feel like Amber is so his type physically that
I know.
It's just like, I don't think that he's going to be down with Jessica. And
no. And like him and Amber just like beyond the physical, they just have something. They do have something like real together.
They really do.
That I don't see him having anywhere near.
So I'm just dying. I mean, they cut us right in the middle of this party. So I'm really hoping that we get more party footage. I need more party footage. I need Jessica continuing to take shots.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna just devolve into a total shit show. I can't wait to watch it.
I am hoping and praying, and yes, I will be watching it tonight as well because Lord knows I'm not patient enough. Oh my God. Okay, so anywho, Broads, we will be back.
Any other notes to make?
I don't think so. I think that was it.
That's it. I think
that's where it wrapped.
Yeah.
The kiss on the cheek.
Oh my God, savage.
What's up, Mark? Hi, Mark. Oh, Lord. It makes my whole body hurt. Well, Broads, keep staying safe and healthy. Bekah and I will be back in action to continue to recap this. Probably next episode, because Bachelor Listen to Your Heart is coming up swiftly. We'll probably do a dual episode recap.
When exactly does Bachelor Listen to Your Heart start? That's what I was just trying to look up.
I think it's April 13th, which is like in 2 weeks.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that did sneak up.
It came real fast. Speaking of that, I believe Chris Harrison said that it doesn't look like Paradise is probably going to happen.
I am not going to lie, I'm really happy about that.
Really? Paradise is my favorite to watch just because I'll say this. I don't like recapping Paradise as much because so much is happening. There's just a lot of factors and it's a lot of complications, but I love watching Paradise. I prefer to recap Bachelor, Bachelorette because it's easier to get your hands around all that drama.
Yeah.
But I do like watching it.
I just honestly, I felt like last season left a really bad taste in my mouth because of all the the relationships behind the scenes, and I'm sure that so much of that's going down right now.
Oh, you think that quarantine DMs aren't happening? Can you imagine?
Oh my God. Probably house party too. Like they're probably just getting, you know, like I'm sure even like innocent just connections are happening too through stuff like house party or whatever.
For sure. It's going down right now.
I don't know. And I was just that in particular, I was really, really dreading for this upcoming season. Holy shit, though.
I know.
I mean, when the fuck when are they going to do Bachelorette?
I don't know.
Poor Claire. Poor Claire. Talk about getting thrown for a fucking loop.
She gets given like this opportunity that she's so excited for that comes out of left field. She is thrilled, and now it's just like, is it even gonna happen? It just keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed. Sweet Claire.
I mean, I know the summer games got canceled, which not that any of us care.
I'm not like a huge summer games, winter games.
Damn.
I would like casually watch it if I had a moment, but I would miss like all 2/3 of the episodes.
Oh my gosh, I'm reading something right now that said they anticipate the launch in 2021 of Bachelor Paradise. I don't feel like that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't feel like... Well, I guess...
No, this whole article is not right because they said that they think Demi's going back on, but obviously Demi has a boyfriend now. Yeah, this article is not, accurate.
I don't know. It's all shade, but who knows what we're going to get. But we are getting Bachelors Into Your Heart. So that starts April 13th. So then our recaps will begin. So we're probably going to be doing now these Love is Blind, probably two at a time. Probably because, I mean, we only have a couple weeks left until Listen to Your Heart.
And plus these episodes are like 45 minutes long each for Love is Blind. You know?
True. We can get it in.
So we should technically be able to pack it in. Since we do it for Bachelor.
We can do it. You and I, we can get it all in. I believe in us.
We've gotten like 3-hour episodes. I mean, granted, it's only 2 hours of content, but we've gotten that into one episode before. Anyway, chat soon, broads. We'll talk to you.
We'll keep you updated.
Stay safe.
Stay cozy. Stay safe. We love you all. Mwah. Chat soon.
Chat soon.